Do I have what it takes to make you fall in love with me? Am I the real deal or just another one of those who fake it? Maybe I don't really know you. Maybe I don't really know myself. Let me rest in your arms until the morning comes and fades away our fears. I want to grow up with you. Cliche to say, but it's true.
너무 시켜서 기분이 아닌가? 그러니까.
I want to grow up with you. Cliche to say, but it's true. Tell me you see me just as I see you. Sometimes I don't know why I keep trying so hard to change. Should I turn on the lights and let you see me just the way I am? Can you tell me your secrets? It is time to let our guard down. I can promise you anything but loving you tonight. Do I have what it takes to make you fall in love with me? Am I the real deal or just another one of those who fake it?
보통 이러면 불이 줄어드는데. 어머, 더 세졌는데요? 잠시만요.
약간 좀 건강하게 수영.
Had me in your possession, had you swimming inside my affection. But with you, I came second, so I cut off the connection. And now you're calling me, holding your heart there inside your hand. You say I'm where you wanna be, but you're out of chances. No, you don't get to come back. Crying over the love that you had. Maybe next try, maybe next time you'll hold on to what you have. No, you don't get to show up, teary-eyed saying I'm all you want. Maybe next try, maybe next time you won't sleep on a good love.
나는 그래도 잘 만들고 있는 것 같아.
Keep on talking, but I'm already gone. You had your shot, but you went about it all wrong. Tried to pull you in close, eyes were locked on your phone. Now you're sour, cause I'm moving on.
큰일이다. 좀 상소만 발표. 이상하다. 진짜 좀 이상한데?
천천히 해도 되죠? 네. 좋아요.
No, you don't get to come back. Crying over the love that you had. Maybe next try, maybe next time you'll hold on to what you have. No, you don't get to show up,
a long time, but I remember it well. Just like the photo we keep on the shelf. Oh, we were young. Oh, we were young. Now 10 years have passed and we're still locked in time. I don't take for granted the years that go by. Started with a gaze, here we remain.
시계 망가뜨려서 내가 못 나오게 했으면 좋겠다.
먼저 ROSC 되었습니다.
다시 맥박 해보세요.
All of the moments collected in time, perfectly bound like your hand fits in mine. Lucky to find what we're both looking for in this life. My heart is racing. These tears of happiness shaking. 'Cause I know that I found love. I'm never yours. I'm never yours.
내 생각에 분만 진행 단계는 안 나올 것 같거든? 근데 그게 진짜 어려워.
그거 진짜 자궁 정그 뭐지? 자궁 정구가 몇 센치 개조되었고 애기 머리 태아 길이가 어떤 방향이고 몇 센치 하강했고 그래서 우리 그것도 계산해야 돼. 예상 출산일이 언제인지 이런 것까지 다 넣어줘야
일단 써놓긴 하는데 안 나올 것 같아. 하이브리드 막 신체 검사 하고 보내줄게.
Always believed that after the miles we find ourselves here at the end of the aisle. Looking at me, you're looking at me. What more could I want? What more could I need? Our hands intertwined in this sweet symphony. You're all that I want to forever breathe. All of the moments collected in time, perfectly bound like your hand fits in mine. Lucky to find what we're both looking for in this life.
코 왔고.
입 완전히 덮어야 돼?
오케이. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱.
오 대박! 영어!
My heart is aching, but somehow in all the right places. You make me feel like enough. I'm never yours. I'm never yours. My heart is racing. These tears are happiness.
아니야? 나도 그렇게 하고 끝났어. 아, 그래?
'Cause I know that I found love. I'm never yours. I'm never yours. I'm never yours. Forevermore. I'm
you're sad and while I'm still tangled up in your sheets. I'm leaving traces of golden, yeah, when you're holding me. No, I probably sound like I'm losing my mind, but I swear every time you look in my eyes.
보세요. 환자 의식 없습니다. 파란 제자기를 가져와 주시고.
My head feels like a fountain, overflowing, going upside down. Giving me more heart, sky higher than mountains. Kind of love could turn me inside out. Wanna be yours, ooh, forevermore. Wanna be yours, ooh, wanna be yours. It feels like a fountain overflowing.